it may be simple, but it's not easy. And the reason that we keep doing things that we know are not right, number one, habits. Habits may be physical, they may be chemical. Smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol, people may really want to quit. But the chemistry of the body makes it difficult. Yes, of course, they still can and must. But nonetheless, there's a chemical, a physiologic push to do it. Then we have more subtle layers of patterning, what we call samskaras, or neural habits. Things like losing your temper. I may claim and pledge I'm never going to lose my temper, and then I do. Well, it's not physiological. It's not that I'm craving a fix. But it's that my brain, quite literally, has been trained through these impressions, through samskaras, through my habits, to lose my temper. Every time you lose your temper, you actually make the groove deeper. And it's a very interesting place where Western psychology and Eastern psychology diverge. In the West, there's a whole sense of, I have to get it out. If I'm angry, I should get my anger out. They're now realizing that doesn't work so well, but there's been decades and decades and decades and decades and decades of theory of psychology around get your anger out. Punching bags, pillows, all sorts of things, baseball bats. As though somehow if you just beat a punching bag enough times, you wouldn't be angry anymore. Eastern psychology, and now the West is also realizing this, says actually, the more I hit a punching bag or a pillow, the deeper my samskara of throwing temper tantrums gets. And so I'm actually, it's not punching bag or human. Obviously in that case, better to hit a punching bag. But it's every time I hit a punching bag, that samskara goes deeper and deeper, and I actually end up more likely to lose my temper at other times as well. So another reason that we do things that we know are wrong is we've laid a samskara. We lay samskaras, habits of cheating, of lying. We may say, I'm going to tell the truth. But if you've developed a habit of lying, it becomes really hard. You forget it's lying. I've actually joked many times that I believe that you could take the vast majority of people in India and hook them up to lie detector tests, and they would pass while telling a lie. Because see, what a lie detector test tests, obviously the machine has no idea what's truth or not. What it picks up is what's called the galvanic skin response, meaning my blood pressure, the little bit of moisture that comes on my skin when I get nervous, the temperature that rises when I get nervous. So actually what the machine tests is my nervousness in telling a lie. And it's so subtle that it picks it up. But the dilemma here, and not only here, but it seems to me more here than other places, is that telling what we call white lies has become such a part of the culture that even though we know in theory it's wrong, we learn yam and niyam, we learn satya, we should speak the truth. And yet, how many times are you supposed to meet someone? You're running late, the mobile rings while you're getting dressed, and you pick it up and you say, Hum rasta pe jam mein fase hue hain. Now, I don't actually even think that most people realize that that's lying. I mean, if you say to someone, but you lied, say, नहीं नहीं वो तो झूठ तो नहीं है, मैंने बस ऐसे ही कहा था कि आप शांत हो जाओ, आपको लगेगा कि हम आ रहे हैं. It's become such a deep samskara that we don't even realize when we're doing it. And it's so common. So that's another reason that we do it. Is we literally we do it without even thinking. And the last reason that we do it is because what we want from what we're doing, even though we know it's wrong, in that moment, we want it more than we want to do the right thing. And that tends to fall into categories like hedonism, decadence, meaning I'm living only for this moment. So maybe I'm having an affair on my spouse, let's say, cheating on the spouse. Well, I would imagine that most people who are cheating every day say, I'm going to break it off today. I know it's wrong. I'm going to break it off. And then in the heat of that moment, in the passion of that moment, the desire, the sensual desire, takes over, and the mind says, Chalo jaake Ganga ji mein snan karenge, aaj to yahi kar de. Because what we want in that moment is stronger than wanting to do the right thing. Now, first of all, we need to know that those are not sins that Ganga washes away. What Ganga does is purify us in such a way that we become different. It's not a sense of do a sin, bathe in Ganga, do a sin, bathe in Ganga. She doesn't wash those away. She washes away the ignorance in our mind that makes us sin. And so if we emerge from her waters truly transformed, well then unki kripa se purane file band ho jate hain. But not if you walk out and you open them again. So in terms of the second question of how to stop, the first part is simply being mindful. In every moment, being mindful. Not allowing yourself to get swept up by a habit, whether a physical habit, a physiologic habit, or a samskara. The more mindful we are, the less we run on autopilot. Most people who smoke cigarettes will tell you that they are halfway through a cigarette before they even realize they're smoking. That they'll say they're going to quit, mean to quit, intend to quit, and the next thing they know, they're, putting out the cigarette that they've already smoked without even being aware they were doing it. So this is where we need awareness and mindfulness. So that in every moment we are choosing. We don't become pawns in the hands of the chemistry of our brain. And in terms of the last aspect, this is where we really need to say to ourselves, what do I want in life? What do I want? I know where this path goes. But what about the other one? You know, we're given, the Katha Upanishad, we're given this beautiful option between the path of Shreyas and the path of Preyas. Path of temporary pleasures and the path of righteousness, integrity, purity. And of course the path of Preyas, of just pleasure after pleasure, decadence, leads to misery and leads to us being stuck, not just stuck in this lifetime, but stuck in lifetime after lifetime. And the path of Shreyas leads us to liberation. But we have to choose. And so have a little bit of self-inquiry. When we talk about Swadhyaya, it doesn't just mean reading the scriptures, it's Swadhyaya, studying the self. Why am I doing this? Kya milte mujhko? And is it worth it? Make that decision. And then stay mindful and aware so you don't find yourself running on autopilot. And it's definitely not easy in the beginning. But the beautiful thing about habits and samskaras is, once you do it enough days in a row, it doesn't take years. It's a matter of weeks before new, strong neural networks are laid. Weeks. Just make a commitment for weeks. I'm going to change. And then for another few weeks. Do it month by month. And then you'll see. Slowly, slowly, there won't even be the inclination to go there.